everyone. A bit of a different and scary vlog for me today. So, I am done with having these roots. So I've decided to use Bleach London's Total Bleach and sort it out for myself. Now, I'm trying to think more about what I put out into the universe, and I keep being told that you shouldn't say that you're poor or that you're broke or that you don't have money, because it's kind of a negative thing to put out in the universe, and we should be saying we will have money, we can afford this, we will be financially stable. You know, it's all about abundance and attracting abundance and that sort of thing. So let's just say that right now it's Christmas, and quite rightly my money that I have has been spent on other people, so I can't justify going to a salon right now. But I can afford an £8 home kit, and if that does sort this out, it will make me feel so much better about myself, because I have been feeling a little bit down this week. And you know, when you look in the mirror and you also don't like what you see in there, it makes you feel even flatter than you already were. So I'm hoping this will give me a little boost, if it's not a complete and utter disaster. Oh God, I'm really nervous about this. I don't think beauty is my forte, so I'm not expecting incredible or polished or even good results, but if it's okay, I will be pretty chuffed with myself. Lots of people said they don't think my roots are bad because it almost looks like intentional rootage, and actually you can't really tell in this light, but I am a natural blonde, so there are some natural highlights that are growing through, like at the front you can see there. That's my actual blonde hair coming through, but as I've got older, my natural blonde has become a dark blonde stroke mousy, but it does mean that my hair lightens very quickly. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm deciding how long to keep the bleach on, because it goes quite bright quite quickly. By the way, I wouldn't usually wear this sort of makeup to do a bleach job, but I've been taking some Vogue pictures this morning. Anyway, I'm waffling because I'm clearly nervous, but I'm just going to get on with it. Read instructions, that's the thing I should do first, I think. Problem with my bathroom is I don't really have any surfaces to do anything on. So let me just clear this area so I can... Ugh. So the pack contains a bottle of developing lotion, that must be that. 2 sachets of bleaching powder, reincarnation mask, tint brush, mixing bowl, and a pair of plastic gloves. So we've got everything we need. There's no getting out of this now. I can't even do that right. There's the bit you're meant to. Such an idiot. I shouldn't. Oh God. How have I found this part impossible? Clumsy people shouldn't die their own. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I've got at least 80% of it in there. I wonder if I can get any of the rest of it in that I spill. Oh. Okay. Second sachet. Let's see if I can do this one a bit better. I'm learning. Even at my age, you can still learn. Okay. Oh, I feel like I'm making like a miniature cake for a little borrower person. Next, add the contents of the developing lotion. Together until smooth and creamy. I can't even get in here. Right. I'm guessing they meant to stir with the other end, didn't they? Oh dear. Pretty sure I'm inhaling the dust as well, which I'm pretty sure isn't good for you. This lovely Arctic cake that I'm making. Oh, it almost looks like icing sugar. Do not let your imagination run away with you though. It definitely is not. Oh God, I've got it in my eye. Oh, bloody hell. It's going well, guys. Going really well. Definitely didn't factor in the fact that you can't see the back of your head. Got it in. There's a bit of stinging. I hope that's not a bad sign. Yeah, because I've not done this before, I don't know how thick you should apply it and really what I'm doing at all. I'm starting to get a little bit worried because I can see like it's lifting really well here, looking very orangey yellow. And it's, oh God, I don't know, I'm not going to overthink it, I'm just going to wait. I've got about 15 more minutes to wait and then I will start washing off, I think. Ugh, I'm so scared. Look, I've got sweaty eyelids, that's how stressed I am. Oh God, what am I doing? Time to wash it off now, I think. As you can see, it's definitely taken and oh God, definitely not isn't the same blonde, but I haven't toned it yet, so it still might be alright. It's not disaster yet, is it? Oh, I don't know. I've definitely missed a lot of bits. It's hard when you've got lots of hair to get everything. I think I'll come back at the end with some advice. So at this stage, I think it's fair to say you are allowed to panic. Oh dear. Oh. Let's pray the toner does something. Oh God. It's time to put on the mask now. I don't know what good that's going to do. Oh dear. Merry Christmas to me. I've got the mask on now and they say to leave this on for about 20 minutes, ideally with a hot towel to intensify what it does, I think, something like that. Hopefully this will just make sure my hair doesn't fall out. Oh God, this was a bad idea. I bet you guys watching this from the beginning, you're like, this won't go right for Sophie. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those fail videos, and you would have been right. I didn't make enough effort to be kind of methodical and neat when doing the actual dyeing, so I'm getting out of the bath and I'm going to try and be very methodical while I do the white toner so I can at least get that bit right and give myself the most chance of saving this disaster. Let's think of, if it stays looking like this, let's think of a trend that I can pretend I'm starting, like, can we say this is like animal print tie-dye look? Or like creme caramel? Oh my God. Take the lid off the developing bottle. Okay. Put its own lid. Screw the lid back on there and shape. Well, okay. I can do this. I can do this. So for this bit, you need to kind of make sure you get every section so you like part your hair and then flip over and do the next bit. So I'll do the next bit, and then the next bit, then the next bit, then the next bit. Right, I think I've got the white toner over everything that I've dyed today, so now I've just got to wait 20 minutes and just pray and hope that karma will not deliver me another moment. It's the morning after of an evening that we'll call a disaster episode. Just to catch you up, so after I applied the white mask, left that on to the maximum time, that was 20 minutes, I took it off and really it didn't seem any different in terms of brassiness level. It was still quite orangey yellow. I could see that even when it was wet. But I remembered once when I was in the salon actually getting it done professionally, that I had that same yellowish, and I remember thinking at the time, oh god, this looks a bit brassy, I hope it lightens once it's dry, and it did look a lot different when it was dry. So I didn't have a complete meltdown till I dried my hair, because I thought a lot can change. So I dried my hair, and yes, it did make a slight difference. It wasn't quite as brassy, but it still wasn't ideal. There's nothing much I could do about it. I didn't get upset, I didn't get too panicky really. Actually I felt to myself, god, there's some growth here, because I think me a few years ago would have had a proper panic about this. Like, my hair was my thing. Do you remember? It was really long. It was probably one of the only things I liked about myself, and I used to use it a bit like a safety blanket. It was what I used to hide my face, it's what I used to hide my shyness. I think I relied on my hair too much, and I think last few years since chopping my hair, I just think my, not reliance, but the importance and emphasis I put on my hair and my looks in general has gone way down. I realise in the scheme of life, it's not a big deal. So yeah, last night I was repeating the mantra, it's only hair, it's only hair, it's fine. But when I got up this morning, I thought, right, we'll have another bath and have another session with the purple shampoo, see if that does anything to just tone down the oranginess. And as you can see, it's mainly just made my old dye job a bit more icy, but this is still quite yellowish. But do you know what, like, I've seen a lot worse dye jobs out there in the big wide world. I can wear a beanie, it's winter, till I can afford to get it fixed, which will be probably in a few months. I'll just have to suck it up and deal with it, wear hats, mask it with, you know, some dry shampoo and stuff like that. So not going to panic. Let's go into what I did wrong. So I think the first big mistake was not brushing my hair through before starting the application process. I think because my hair had some knots and it was a bit wild, it was very hard for me to one, do kind of the lines and the partings and then do the next one neatly, and it just made it hard to be methodical and neat while doing it. So I think the more chaotic it got, the more likely I was to lose track of how long dye had been on certain bits. It just started to get a bit messy, and that's probably why there's loads of patches and things like that. I also think if I was to do it again, I would straighten my hair. I think the fact that it was wavy and curly also made it hard to get an even finish on it as well, because I think the dye was collecting on, you know, the kinks a bit more and maybe missing bits because it was curled around in places. So I definitely say brush it through and ideally straighten it before you apply the dye. I told you guys that my hair picks up very quickly, and even though I used the minimum time option, because I think it said leave on for 30 to 40 minutes or something like that, I did the 30 minutes and it was still almost too long. I could have left it on probably 20 minutes and got the right amount of lift rather than going lighter than the existing colour. I wish I'd had a comb in the bathroom with me. That would have helped, rather than using the end of the application brush to create the partings. Trying to film while doing it probably was a bit of a distraction I didn't need, and made it very tricky because I was already in the bathroom the size of a shoe, then having to work around a tripod that was in the way, and yeah, probably shouldn't have added that pressure considering it was my first time. but that was half the fun of it, I guess. I think the main issue, which is why I've got some, particularly on this side, you'll see there's an area that's slightly darker here. I was so worried about getting the bleach on areas that had already been bleached that I think I ended up being too conservative, and it's ended up that I've got a gap that no bleach has touched. So I didn't quite fill the whole of the root with the dye. So I've got this weird like striping now, which is not a look anyone's going for, is it? I'm gonna, you know, pretend that it was intentional, but really, no. I genuinely think if you're doing an all over dye job and you're not just touching up roots or just trying to get specific areas, this is actually a great bit of kit, and I think it would be easy. For instance, if you've got a short pixie crop and you're just doing like a bleach blonde look all over, very easy, and it would look great. I have confidence it would be great for that. But I think as an amateur, trying to do a root touch up on hair that had been very carefully dyed before by an expert who really wanted to give me quite a natural beachy look, and they did very fine highlights. It was never an all over colour. I think it just wasn't the right idea. My hair was very bespoke before, and it needs bespoke care on the root touch up as well. But lesson learned. Still recommend the kit. It was very easy to use. I haven't got a burnt scalp or anything like that, and in the right hands I think you get really good results. So look at this vlog not as a reflection on Bleach London or their products, because I actually think it's very good. It's more on me not doing what I should have done, getting overly excited about the fact my roots were going and not actually planning it and doing it well. I've got some problems with my hands, so I do find anything to do with hands quite tricky. And also, oh yeah, this is a big point, get someone to help you with the back. I didn't even think about this. Sai was out, my parents wouldn't know what to do with this sort of thing, so I was just trying to do it on my own in the mirror, and yeah, that's not the way to do it, basically. So anyway, so over Christmas I'm going to be sporting quite an unusual array of colours on my hair. Oh look, you can see how bad, like, look, that's not great, is it? You can, yeah. I'm really trying to be alright with it. Yeah, so this is going to be my Christmas. Unusual hair. I'm going to distract with jazzy jumpers. Thanks for watching this disaster of a fail, of a mishap, of a calamity with Sophie Eggleton. See you in the next video, which will just show you some sort of other fail, no doubt, as is this channel. Merry Christmas. You're probably watching this after Christmas, so hope you had a good Christmas. Happy day, whatever day it is. I'm going to go now. I'm obviously in a state of distress. Delirious.